You don't have to pay a VA now. We have a feature where you can just put in the URL of a post and it will figure out all the people who commented and start a campaign.
I think one thing that helped me really well could be my optimized profile because it was almost like
What are some of the mistakes you made when you first started doing cold outreach?
I think the first thing is like I suck at.
What are some of the things you're excited about trying to improve your cold outreach process?
I think the two things I would do is basically
Hello, everyone, and welcome to SalesRobot Customer of the Week, a new show where we interview the best SalesRobot customers and go deep into their tactics, including things like personalization, copywriting, and targeting, so that you can take away some tips and implement in your cold outreach starting tomorrow. Today on the show, we have Adithya from We Dominate. Welcome to the show, Adithya.
thanks for having me.
Awesome. So let's get right into it. What does your business do and how do you make money?
So I do three things. So one is we have a media company in the M&E space. So we have a podcast, specifically working with mergers and acquisitions. And also we work with investors and stuff to buy and sell businesses. And recently we launched a podcasting company. So running like three companies right now.
Awesome. So you must be a busy guy because it's not easy to run one company. So three is a lot.
Yeah. I mean, like it just gets like some of them just got started. Like we have a decent team, so learning a lot of stuff. Before it was like more of like a one-man show. I mean, I used to work with partners, just work with experienced people, just, hey, get it done. They would get it done. But now we are working with team. I have to train them. I have to make sure, they're getting it done. Yeah, it's a whole different ball game, to be honest.
Awesome. Good. So I think you're doing well. I mean, I'll not bury the lead. This was a very, very successful campaign. Okay. So this was the campaign. The stats are insane. Almost a 54% acceptance
Yep.
rate, which is way above ordinary. Acceptance rate is really high. The average acceptance rate is about 10 to 20%. So 53 and a half is way above average. And what I really liked about this campaign was the reply rate, right? Almost a 50% reply rate, which is kind of insane because, average is again 10 to 20%. So first of all, congrats on the campaign.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, talk me through it. Who was this to and what was the angle?
Okay, so basically, first of all, of course, it's like, not realistic to expect every campaign to get like 50% replay rate. It was more of like a product market fit kind of a campaign. Like I wanted to like test out my the podcast, we were spending like couple hundred hours on each episode. So I wanted to like get like, if the audience are actually liking the content or something like that, and to get their feedback like on the changes we can do. So what I thought was like, so I thought, we're going to get some feedback on the content itself, but we didn't, like people watching, but, like no like response and stuff. So I kind of like, thought of, creating a campaign. I knew SalesRobot for a while, but never used it. So I was like, yeah, let me just give it a try. So the whole thing with the campaign was like to find people who are running podcasts in the similar niche, to kind of like find people, who are engaging on their posts. So we could, like we know that they are engaging on it, they are into the content. Let me just reach out to them and give my content and see, like what do they like, what do they don't like, how we can improve it. So that was like the whole strategy behind the campaign.
Yeah. So first of all, like let's start with the targeting. Like who were
Sure.
you reaching out to? How did you figure out like these were the right people to reach out to?
Yeah, so basically, when it comes to the targeting of it, as I said, it's like I found people who are in the space, like who are consuming similar content. So the way I did it was like I looked for other podcasts, in the space, in the same space, and went to the LinkedIn. What are the posts, they were engaging on? So then I actually hired someone like a VA to kind of, go through those recent posts, like scrape those profiles. So now I know that, okay, they are like engaging. So they are active at the same time, they are active on the right posts, in the same space. So that is like how, I went the targeting.
Okay, that's really nice. You don't have to pay a VA now. Now we have a feature where you can just put in the URL of a post and it will figure out all the people who commented and start a campaign. So I think that's one improvement.
Yeah,
For
that'd be awesome.
Awesome. So let's get into the messaging sequence. Okay, you did step one, blank connection
Yep.
request. What do you think of blank versus not blank? Like, have you tested it?
I mean, I haven't tested it, but I just wanted to just keep it simple. Like, yeah, just let's just test it out.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Talk me through this message. This goes out
So-
after.
Yeah, this one, this is like I mean, I don't do a lot of outbound campaigns, but it just like I do like personal outbound here and there, if I'm testing out specific things, right? Like, thanks for the ad, like first name is the same line I've been using for years, on Facebook and stuff. So pretty much went with it. So I just wanted to get permission, you know what I mean? Like permission to like for the ask. so I don't piss them off, right after the first message if you're going with the pitch. Sometimes it get people pissed off, and like even this campaign got few people pissed off, even though I was not selling anything. But it is what it is, right? So yeah, I just want to keep it simple and have some relatability with it. That hey, we are in the mini space. I see that you are in the mini space as well. Mind if I ask you a quick question? So yeah, just keep it simple. And the main thing was the readability. I had like I think this the present message is like multiple iteration, with ChatGPT, playing with ChatGPT and stuff. Like the main thing was like the readability for me, like easy to read, easy to understand, keep it very simple. So that was the main goal with the whole messaging.
Awesome. So you didn't, I what I like about this is you also created a sense of curiosity, right? Like, what is this guy about to ask? So I think that
Yeah.
plays a role. Very good. Okay.
Another thing was since I was running the podcast, so I was using a long message. I think I this was like the second variation or something. So I was using a long message where I was sending them like, "Hey, I host this podcast. I would love to ask you a question." People were so lazy; they were not reading the entire message. They were thinking that I was asking them to come on the show. I was like, so then I had to like shorten it and just. I think you just have to be straight to the point, rather than like, yeah. That's another thing.
Makes a ton of sense. Okay. So this is going out a day later. This is almost like a simple reminder message.
Yep.
Okay. Pretty good. Okay, let's talk about the last one because this is where I think you give the most information.
Yep.
What do you do here?
So this was let me just okay, yeah. So this one was I think second follow up is done. I didn't want to like keep following up, so I just wanted to have like two follow ups. So second follow up was like, hey, have you seen this message? Sorry, the first follow up, and the second follow up was basically like, hey, I think you're busy. Here is a recent. If you have a few minutes, like please check out my recent episode, and just uploaded the recent episode. And yeah, just keep it simple. You know what I mean? Nothing pitchy. Just keep it open. And yeah, I mean the follow-ups did really good. I mean, I think almost like half of the response like actually came with the follow-ups.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here is this one, the first message that you sent
Oh
out.
yeah,
This is
and then
getting you
another 18% or
bulk of
so.
the replies. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is awesome. I think overall, it actually helps you get quite a bit of traction.
So got some decent feedback, but I think there was some improvements I think I'm going to be doing with this next campaign. So one of the thing was like, especially if you see the last message, so it's like, it's like, hey, I give them the episode, right? And also the response, like when they actually respond to any of this message was basically like, hey, I host the show, we put in a lot of time. I would love to get your feedback on, what are the things we could improve, something like that, and just, link to the episode. I think it's a big ask because, I'm asking them to go through a like hour-long, 2-hour-long episode.
1 hour commitment. Yeah.
Exactly. I understood after running the campaign. I think, hey, it's a big ask. I like most people. Some people said, hey, I would love to check it out and stuff. And I think it's kind of like I have to have follow-ups with them to kind of say, hey, can you get back the response and stuff. Some people actually gave pretty good response, but I think I have to be more clearer, and also keep the ask very small rather than like, hey, just tell me what you'll think about the podcast. I think I have to be specific about like, hey, what do you think about the format, or what do you think about like whatever the doubts I have. So they could specifically look for that, and within a couple of minutes they could just tell me like, hey, this is what I think. So yeah, I think the two things I would do is basically the follow-ups, even when they respond, like after like follow up after the response, and the second thing is basically keep the ask very clear and smaller.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
yeah.
So let's get into your journey now. What are some of the mistakes you made when you first started doing cold outreach?
So, I mean, as I mentioned in the beginning, like haven't done like a lot of cold outreach, but I mean, I haven't had like campaigns, like running. It was more of like, hey, like one-on-one, just reach out to them and stuff. I think the first thing is consistency. Like, I suck at consistency. That is the reason I'm using the tool so that I could just like put the strategy and, let it do the work. I think that's what is the biggest thing is like just be consistent with it so that you could actually get the data to see what works, what doesn't work, and then kind of work on it. Like one of the things I used to do was I used to plan everything, get all the leads and stuff, just send some cold emails or cold messages for a while, couple of days, and then it's like shit, it's just too much work. Yeah. I just leave it there, and then like you feel like, oh, it doesn't work or something like that. But in reality, like we haven't tested much to like know even like what works, what doesn't works. I think like cold emails, I think you gotta put a strategy into it, but I think at the end of the day, just like trial and error, test what works, and then just like update it based on that. So I think in terms of the learnings, I think that is the biggest one. And also, I know like that's something I'm really bad at, like the consistency. So I mean, just forcing it just not gonna work. So I just have to find the alternative options, like either hire someone or just use tools like this. And yeah,
Yeah, I think
that
it's
is a
important to be super self-aware, right? Like it's something that I suck at as well. So I actually just tell my team, like, hey, just follow up with me enough times and then let's keep campaigns on all the time. Otherwise, we all suck, right? We all have so much other work to do that we will just forget to do outreach. So since I run this company, I was like, okay, we have to use it, right? Otherwise, what kind of example are we setting in front of our clients? So that's the funny part. Awesome. On to my final question then. What are
uh
some of the things you're excited about trying to improve your cold outreach process?
Yeah, I mean, like as I said, with this one, like I had some follow-ups and like follow-ups and keep the the ask small. Or also in the if in the beginning, there was another campaign I was running, which had like very less, I think even acceptance rates it was 8%. I think the reason was like that leads list. It was not like like active leads list or anything like that. The hired someone and just say, hey, just give me the list of these like private equity companies like who are in that space and something like that, so it's not filtered a lot. So then that's when I knew like, hey, I think I have to filter it out. Like I would rather send 200 like super targeted messages than like 2000 just random messages. I think that is a one big thing I think a lot is like the lead quality has to be really really good. And second thing I want to be doing is I want to only send to people who are like we could filter out by who are active and stuff, right? I
Yeah,
think in
good
sales now
question. Yeah.
I think I really want to, make sure I'm only targeting people who are like active, because the people who are not active, they're just looking at the messages and stuff. Like they might accept it, but they don't respond, because they might like look at it like once in a month or something like that. So that's kind of like a campaign killer, you could say. So yeah, I think those are the two big things. So be specific with the leads, like who I'm targeting. That is the main thing. And also, I think one thing that helped me really well could be my optimized profile. I
Hmm.
think that might have helped big time, because it was almost like a host of a podcast. It's not like I sell you stuff. It just, and also I was not selling it. So it's like I'm a host of a podcast, and it was super optimized. So I think my profile played a huge role in terms of the outbound campaign.
Yeah, let's actually look at your profile then because this is, I rarely get to talk about the inbound side of things when
Yeah,
outbound, but I think it
yeah,
plays a massive role. Okay, so yeah, you have a good banner, good
yeah,
color here. Like you obviously have a clear, sort of, yeah, I think headline. And then you have a podcast, you've got the about section. I think I really like the featured section as well because you can see everything that you're talking about. So yeah, I think you did a very good job of the inbound side of things, which is like, and also this, right, recommendations.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
actually get more, even more recommendations, I think it's even better. But yeah,
yeah.
it's very good.
So yeah, I think profile played a huge role, because that's the first thing they check out.
Yeah, yeah, no, this is awesome. Awesome, good stuff, man. So for the people who want to find out more about you, where can they find you?
Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever Adithya must, you'll find it. You could just hit me up. Happy to
Awesome.
answer any questions.
Awesome, thanks for making the time, Aditya. That's all the time we have today.
Thank you for having me.